Hello friends, this is Jack from Choco Anime Recap, and today, I'm going to recap the 2022 action fantasy anime called Tokyo Revengers, Season 2, Episode 3 and Episode 4. But before that, it's my humble request to every person who is watching this, please like this video and share it with your friends. Takemichi is faced with a terrifying situation when Taiju orders Hakai to kill him, despite not knowing the area was under Black Dragon control. Yuzua tries to intervene, but Taiju disregards her, blaming her for not raising him properly. Despite his weakened state, Takemichi bravely speaks up, telling Taiju that hitting women, especially his own sister, is unacceptable. Taiju argues that it's a family matter and not his concern. He then proceeds to brutally attack Takemichi, with Hakai watching on. Hinata attempts to intervene, but Takemichi steps in to protect her and receives Taiju's blows. Hakai tries to reason with Taiju, but Taiju demands an exchange for his mercy. Hakai offers to quit Tomon and join Black Dragon, which Taiju gleefully accepts, leaving Takemichi alone. Afterwards, Hakai carries Takemichi as he wakes up from unconsciousness. Takemichi expresses his apologies to Hakai for having to quit Tomon, but Hakai reassures him that he had already made the decision and thanks him for defending his sister. Hakai mentions that he has something he needs to do within Black Dragon, which prompts Takemichi to recall his conversation with Kazutora about Hakai being responsible for the death of Black Dragon's leader. Back at home, Takemichi realizes that if events continue in the same direction, it will lead to the future he witnessed, and wonders how he can prevent Hakai from killing Taiju. While pondering, Takemichi discovers his friends in his room playing cards, and he questions their presence. They reveal that they came to check on their captain, and Takemichi is surprised to learn that they have joined Tomon. Chifu explains that Takemichi allowed them to join, and they speculate that a war with Black Dragon is imminent due to their recent act of violence against one of Tomon's captains. Chifu provides Takemichi with a brief history lesson, explaining that the Kanto region is currently ruled by the brutal and insane 10th generation of the Black Dragon gang, led by Taiju. Tomon was formed in response to Black Dragon's dominance, as Kazutora got into trouble with the gang and his friends banded together to save him, forming Tokyo Manji Gang. Tomon gained fame after crushing the 9th generation of Black Dragon, but Taiju managed to revive and transform the gang after their defeat. Taiju changed their uniforms and trained them like a military force, requiring a significant amount of money. He had connections with the wealthy and sold his muscles to them for financial gain. Takemichi believes that there's no need for a confrontation between Tomon and Black Dragon, and that he intends to take care of his own problem with the gang. Chifu requests to have a private conversation with Takemichi, and they ride away on his bike. Takemichi assumes that Chifu wants to provide him with emotional support, but Chifu clarifies that he wants to enjoy the experience with him. He assures Takemichi that Keisuke didn't assign him to take care of Tomon just to stress him out, and he would be angry with Chifu for that. Takemichi comes to the realization that he is not alone and decides to reveal to Chifu that he has time traveled from the future. He spills everything, including his motivations for joining Tomon to save Hinata, details about Manjiro and Teta, and Chifu's fate in the future. Chifu responds by saying that he already had an inkling that something was off with Takemichi, although he didn't anticipate that Takemichi had come from the future. Chifu noticed that Takemichi had exhibited peculiar behaviors that made him seem like a completely different person at times. Takemichi recalls how, before the fight with Valhalla, he urged Keisuke to not die. Although Chifu didn't hear it clearly, he believes that Takemichi knew that Keisuke would die, explaining why Takemichi was so desperate. Takemichi confirms this, but admits that he couldn't save Keisuke. Chifu is impressed by Takemichi's bravery in fighting alone, even without anyone asking him to do so. Takemichi is astounded that Chifu believes him, but Chifu says that it's natural since they are partners, which moves Takemichi to tears of joy. Chifu and Takemichi head out to grab some food together, but Chifu is feeling frustrated over his future death at the hands of Teta. Despite his frustration, Chifu is excited about Takemichi's potential to create the best first division in Tomon and vows to stay by his side until the end. Meanwhile, Tomon leaders gather to discuss the recent declaration of war from Black Dragon due to Taiju's attack on Takemichi. They acknowledge that this won't be an easy fight, as the current generation of Black Dragon is unlike anything they've faced before. Hawkeye, who knows Black Dragon's turf, raises suspicion among some Tomon members, with Yasuhiro even suggesting that he might be a spy. Takemichi tries to speak up, but is shut down by Yasuhiro. Takemichi reflects on his recent conversation with Chifu, where they discuss the importance of preventing Hawkeye from quitting Tomon to avoid the future that Takemichi saw. During the meeting, Hawkeye kneels down and accepts any punishment, stating that he was prepared for the consequences of being Taiju's brother. He then asks Manjiro for permission to leave the Tokyo Manji gang. At first, no one objects, but Takemichi remembers Chifu's plan A, which was to object if Manjiro didn't agree. Takemichi tries to bribe Manjiro with a dorayaki, which Chifu said was his weakness, but Manjiro rejects it and scolds Takemichi for his joking behavior. Takemichi remembers Chifu's plan B, which involves notes that he cannot use to stop Hawkeye. Ultimately, Manjiro defers to Takashi to make the final decision, and Hawkeye informs Takashi that he has made up his mind. Takashi sympathizes with Hawkeye, but refuses to let him leave the gang. Hawkeye reminisces about how he first met Takashi. When he was young, he was in a fight with a boy, and Takashi, who was also taking care of his siblings, intervened and taught Hawkeye the importance of using strength to protect others. Hawkeye doubts that Takashi's meeting with Taiju will have a positive outcome and doesn't believe that Takashi can change Taiju's mind. Takashi, however, is confused about why Takemichi and Chifu are accompanying him. Takemichi says he's going because he was the one who got beaten up, and Chifu says he's coming along to keep an eye on Takemichi, who he thinks is an idiot. When Takashi meets up with Taiju, he offers to let Hawkeye join Black Dragon and promises to stay out of Taiju's business in exchange for releasing Yuzuha. Taiju initially thinks this is a joke, but Takashi explains that Hawkeye has been protecting Yuzuha from Taiju's abuse. Taiju becomes angry and tries to hit Takashi, but he blocks the attack. Takashi tells Taiju that if he agrees to the condition, there won't be a war between Tomon and Black Dragon. Taiju reluctantly accepts, denying that he ever abused Yuzuha and promising not to hit her again. Takemichi realizes that Hawkeye will kill Taiju to protect his sister. Once they depart, Hawkeye expresses his gratitude towards Takashi, who advises him to utilize his strength to safeguard others. This statement reminds Hawkeye of their childhood days, when he visited Takashi and saw him preparing food for his siblings. During the conversation, Hawkeye inquired about their parents, and Takashi revealed that he only had his mother who worked late shifts, and he took care of his siblings during the day. Hawkeye sympathized with his situation, but Takashi told him not to curse his circumstances. Now, Takashi repeats the same advice to Hawkeye. Takemichi contemplates returning to the future, as he believes Hawkeye killed Taiju to protect Yuzuha, but since they have now agreed to release her, the future may have altered. Chifu disagrees, assuming that Hawkeye had a different reason for killing Taiju. He further warns Takemichi that he could be arrested in the future, and if he is imprisoned, he may not be able to travel back. Besides, it was Takashi who freed Yuzuha, and Takemichi himself hasn't changed anything. Takemichi admits that Chifu may be right and admires his intelligence. At that moment, Hawkeye approaches Takemichi, wanting to have a conversation with him. Hawkeye reveals to Takemichi that his family is dysfunctional, without a mother, and with a father who is absent most of the time. Taiju, as the eldest, took over the responsibility of running the family, becoming an expert in both fighting and gaining people's affection. Unfortunately, he applied the same abusive tactics towards his family, and Hawkeye grew up thinking that love was supposed to hurt. However, Takashi's arrival turned Hawkeye's world upside down. Instead of playing around, Takashi took care of his siblings and taught Hawkeye to use his strength to protect others. Hawkeye decided to protect his family, but Taiju made a deal that he would beat up Yuzuha instead of Hawkeye. Taiju then broke his promise and beat up Yuzuha, which left Hawkeye feeling betrayed and helpless. And this brings the anime to an end. Comment for episode 5. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.